What's up, everybody? JBL Sports here with my sports betting picks video. NFL edition, week number 11 is here. Let's get into it. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and each and every time I put out a video, you guys are awesome. Let's get into another NFL Sunday. We'll go ahead and recap what we did last Sunday. We'll get into this week's Sunday. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Again, thank you for joining me. I give out sports betting tips here on the site. I like to do teasers for the NFL. Teasers is one of my favorite ways to bet in the NFL. It's one of the ways I bet. Teasers, parlays, straight bets. I do it all, but one of my favorite ways and one of my most successful ways is to do teasers. So what I do is I give out a bunch of different teaser options for you guys to decide what you want to do with. My recommendation is to pluck out your favorites and do a few different two-team teasers, mix and match with some of your own favorites. I throw all of my recommendations into a long shot teaser to see how many times I can hit it throughout the year. We've hit it twice so far, hoping to hit it a few more times as we enter the second half of the NFL season. So that is what we are going to do today. And of course, I'll have a straight bet for you guys as well. For those of you who do not like to do teasers, we are on fire with the straight bets. We've only missed a couple so far this season, as far as the ones I've given out here on the channel. So that is what we have on tap. So we'll go ahead and recap week number 10. Another solid week. We went 4-2 with our teaser options. Let me go ahead and bring that up on the screen here. So starting with the Atlanta Falcons, we had the international game with the Falcons. They were losers. A close game against the Colts that they probably should have won. They took the lead late, but then they gave it up and lost in overtime. But the Falcons plus 13.5 really was never in doubt. And then we had the Buffalo Bills was one of our losers. This one was just one really hard to stay away from. They looked so good against the Kansas City Chiefs. And then they just lay an egg against the Miami Dolphins, who really aren't playing for anything. So Buffalo Bills get blown out in Miami. Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams, two NFC West teams we've been riding a lot this year, both get the job done. The Detroit Lions, another team we've been on most weeks, -1. Also an easy winner there. And then our second loss came on Sunday Night Football. And that was the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. They did not show up against the Chargers. Chargers played great. Or were the Chargers at home? I forget who was at home in that one. But the Steelers took a chance on the underdog there to keep it close, and they just could not get anything going offensively, and really couldn't stop the Chargers defensively. I think they lost by 15 or so, so that one did not come through. So the Steelers were definitely a bad play. The Buffalo Bills, I would take that most weeks. That one was definitely hard to stay away from. So again, 4-2 goes into our overall record, 76% so far with all of our teaser options. Not too shabby, but we're looking to get a few perfect weeks here so we can get that number back over 80%. So hopefully that starts this week, week number 11. And then we had our straight bet was the Houston Texans plus 1.5. We took the points there. And that was a close one, probably one that they should have lost. They came back and won. They just got off to a rough start. I think the very first play, Davis Mills threw an interception and Jaguars kicked a field goal. And then the very next kickoff, they fumbled the ball. Jacksonville gets the ball again and Houston territory scores a touchdown. So in the blink of an eye, the Texans were down 10 points with a backup quarterback, just not the start you wanted. And the Texans ended up showing what I thought they would. They just got off to such a bad start, and they had to climb out of that hole that they dug themselves in. But they did. They got the job done. And like I said, another straight bet cash for us. So we'll look to continue that streak. So let's go ahead and turn that page and move into week number 11. Before I do want to mention the website, jbillsportspicks.com. If you want all of my picks, what a day Saturday was. So awesome. Of course, you had college football. You got the NBA. You got NHL, UFC. Just so much action from pretty much when you get up until when you go to bed. So it's definitely a great time of the year to be a sports betting fan. If you want all of my best bets across all sports, very successful across all sports, you'll get them sent directly to your email box each and every day before any of the games start. Easy to sign up. Just go to the website, javilsportspicks.com to sign up, and you will start receiving my daily newsletter. Again, all of my best bets across all sports. If you have any questions about that or anything else, hit me up. Social media, email addresses, all that good stuff is down below in the description of this video. While you're down there, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you always know when new videos pop up. Other than that, let's go ahead and move on to week number 11. All right, there is another international game. I think this one is in Madrid, I want to say, between the Dolphins and Commanders, but we're not going to force a play in that one. I do kind of like the Dolphins, but again, two teams that really aren't going anywhere, so we'll stay away from that one, and we'll move into the regular slate, starting with the Buffalo Bills. So I love when the team gets embarrassed the week before, just has a really bad performance, because chances are, especially if they're a good team, they're going to bounce back and play much better the next week. This is a case where we have two teams coming off losses. Tampa Bay, not as embarrassing as a loss as Buffalo, but I think Buffalo gets on the track here. Still a lot of injuries on this Tampa Bay team. Still missing Bucky Irving, still missing Godwin. I think Mike Evans, I want to say, still out. Just a lot of weapons for Tampa Bay missing. Like I said, I'm expecting a big bounce back performance by Buffalo. Tough team to be at home. So give me the Buffalo Bills. This is a 7-point teaser. So one of my options is going to be the Buffalo Bills. After you give them 7, makes it +1. All they have to do is win. This is also a candidate if you're doing 2-team teasers. You definitely want to look for spots where you do 6-point teasers, because it gives you better odds. And this one would definitely be one of those games, as they are a 6-point favorite. Use a 6-point teaser, it makes it a pick 'em. So, but for the purpose of the long shot, I'm doing just all 7-point teasers just to make it easy. So again, option number 1 is the Buffalo Bills. Next, we are moving on to another early slate. We have the Green Bay Packers. So typically, I like to stay away from teams that just fire their head coach, because they tend to have that bounce back spot, but the Packers just not playing well right now, and I expect them to get back on the winning track here against one of the worst teams in the NFL and the Giants. No Jackson Dart in this one. They're going straight to their number 3 in Jameis Winston, who's a dangerous quarterback. We know Winston, he's kind of that boomer bust. He can have a 350-yard game, 3 touchdowns. You just never know what he's going to do. But very good Packers defense. I expect them to shut the Giants down. Again, this Giants team is just missing so many weapons. Scadaboo's out, Neighbors is out, just not a lot with this Giants team. So I'm really expecting the Packers to put this game away. Probably will be a closer game than expected. That's just the way Green Bay's playing right now. But when it's all said and done, after you give Green Bay 7, it makes it a pick 'em. All you have to do is win. Again, this is another option where you would want to use a 6-point teaser to bring the Packers from 7 down to 1. Same thing, all they have to do is win. So those are our first 2 options. Moving on to option number 3 is our third morning slate game. That is the Atlanta Falcons at home taking on the Carolina Panthers. Matchup here. I think this is going to be a lower scoring, pretty competitive game. I think we see a lot of running from Dowdle and Bijan, Algier, Hubbard. All the running backs should get involved in this one. So we'll see what quarterback has a better performance between Bryce Young and Penix. And I think at home, Penix has a little bit of the better game. And I think the Falcons find a way to win this game. We have a little extra protection. Falcons are -4-point favorites. So after you give them 7, it makes it +3. So Falcons +3 at home against the Panthers. I'll definitely take that. Next, we are going to move on to some afternoon games, starting with the Seattle Seahawks. We're on them once again, going against the Rams, one of the best games of the week between 2 of the top teams in the NFC West. And whenever these 2 teams get together, it's always a battle. It's always a close game. The Seattle defense is no joke. Both defenses are playing well. I think this is going to be a really close game, a competitive game. Should be a fun game to watch. You give the Seahawks 7, it makes it +10.5. And the way Seattle's playing right now, I can't see them losing by that many points. So give me the Seattle Seahawks +10.5. Next, we are moving on to our second afternoon game. We have 3 morning games, 3 afternoon games. We're staying away from all of the big primetime games, not messing with the international game in the morning, not messing with Sunday night or Monday night football. I'm going with the regular slate this week. Going with the Baltimore Ravens -7.5. After you give them 7, it brings it down to -0.5. So all they have to do is win against the Cleveland Browns. Not great weather in this one. You can see the total is 38.5. It's moved down from, I think it was at 40 earlier in the week. So not expecting a lot of points in this one. I mean, Cleveland, good weather or bad weather, this is probably the worst offense in the NFL. So not expecting many points from them regardless. Baltimore should win this game. They're playing very well right now. They really can't afford to lose many games with the start that they had, and they're just rolling right now. It is a second straight road game for them. They were in Minnesota last week, so that's always a little tough. But division game, I think they're just way better than the Browns. They're getting healthier on defense, and I think they'll shut the Browns down. A lot of running from Derrick Henry in this one. Like I said, bad weather, I think high winds, so it should affect the passing game. But Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, they'll definitely carry the load in this one, and they should win this one. And then last but not least, we're going with another divisional match. A lot of good games this week. The Seahawks and Rams is a big game. And then this is another one, Chiefs and Broncos, a big game in the AFC. And whenever you have the Kansas City Chiefs coming off a bye week, I'm always looking at them. This should be a good game. Again, Broncos, one of the best defenses in the league. Should keep this one close and low scoring. But I have to take the Chiefs in this one to show that they are still the top dog in that AFC West. After you give the Chiefs 7, it makes them +3 in what should be another fun competitive game. And that is going to wrap it up for our teaser options. So that is 6 teaser options for you guys, 3 in the early slate, 3 in the late slate. Again, mix and match with some of your favorites and do a few different 2-team teasers. That's the best way to tackle teasers in the NFL. But of course, if you want to have some fun, throw in a long shot or two, join me in the fun. Let's see if we can hit some big ones. It's always a good time. And before we wrap it up, I do have another straight bet for you guys. One of my favorite ways to bet in the NFL and college football is to find spots to take first half unders. This one, I will say, is a bit juicy, but I'm looking in the game we just talked about, the Ravens and Browns. I'm just not expecting many points, if any, from the Cleveland Browns in the first half. Not only are the Browns just terrible offensively, but like I said, it's going to be bad weather. I don't think the Ravens, when they have the ball, are going to be scoring quickly. Again, a lot of running from both Jackson and Henry should eat up the clock. So I'm not expecting a lot of points, which is why this is such a high juice for this one. So we're going under 20.5 in the first half for the Ravens and Browns. You can find this at DraftKings. So let's keep our hot streak going with our straight bets. I had a bunch of different options. That is the one I am giving out here. If you want the rest of my straight bets and parlays and teasers, all that good stuff, not only just in the NFL, but the NHL and the NBA and college basketball. Again, so many sports each and every day. Check out the website, jaylesportspicks.com, to sign up to get the rest of my picks sent directly to your email box. Other than that, let me know in the comment section which games you guys are looking at, whether it's a straight bet, a teaser option, a prop bet. So many options out there. So many ways to bet. That's what makes it fun. But thank you guys so much for joining me every time I put out a video. Good luck with all your bets. I hope you guys sweep the board out there. It should be another fun Sunday. Good luck, and I'll see you guys soon.